Good morning, students. Welcome back to RV online classes. Today I am going to complete the lesson Thief and the Escaped Prisoner. In the last class, I completed half. Today I want to complete that one. First, I want to recall the part which I completed in the last class. Here, this is the story about a boy called Pip who became rich, but he wasn't always happy. Pip's parents died when he was small, so he lived with his old sister and her husband, Joe, who was a uh, blacksmith who works uh, with the iron and makes the things with that iron. One day, when a Pip was in a graveyard, he met a escaped prisoner. Here, graveyard. Grave means a place where a dead person is buried. Dead person is buried is known as grave. Graveyard means the where the graves are there. And here at the beginning he saw a shape, terrible shape, and after that he come to know that he is a man and he is saying something. What he is saying, that one today's lesson. First I want to read the lesson. I believed that too. I had never met a man who so plainly spoke the truth. He was a prisoner, escaped. I knew that when I saw his leg with the iron ring around it. A chain was fixed to the ring, and an iron ball bigger than my head, bigger than his head, dragged from the chain. The man told me what he wanted, food and a file. Do you know what a file is? He asked me. I knew what a file was because Joe had them at the. It was a tool that would saw through iron. If the man sawed with a file for a long enough, he could cut through the ring on his leg. Food and a file. He told me to bring them in the morning and no one, tell no one. Or he did have my heart and liver. That's what he said. And then he let me go. I did not want to steal from Joe. I liked him too much. I did not want to steal from fiery tempered Mrs. Joe either, but that night I did both. I didn't do it just because I was afraid of the escaped prisoner. That was not the whole reason, almost, but not quite. I did been cold, but he had been colder. I did been hungry, but he was ravenous. I did thought I was alone, but he was the loneliest person I did ever met. And he was frightened. I thought he was as frightened as me. I stole the file and I stole bread and cheese and I stole since Mrs. Joe would go wild anyway, the big brown once year at a Christmas pie. I thought he would enjoy it if he was still there in the morning. He was still there, colder, came with cold, hungry or shaking with that too, but enjoyed his pie. I asked him and he told me, "Thank you, my boy." And he asked my name and Pip. Then I left because I was afraid to spend any more time away. "Give me the file, boy." That was the last thing he said to me. He didn't say goodbye. He didn't watch me go. He was filing away it at his iron ring. He was like the savage dog at the farm. I was sorry for him and I was terrified of him. I would never have dared unchain him. I left the prisoner unchaining himself and I went back to the froze. Later that day, I learnt his name, Mackwitch. The soldier came hunting for Mackwitch all over the marsh. Mrs. Joe instantly blamed him for the loss of the pie. Mackwitch must have stolen it. "Poor fellow," said Cairo. I did not say anything. This lesson was written by Charles Dickens. Now I want to explain. I believed that too. I had never met a man who was so plainly spoke the truth. He is saying truth. He was a prisoner escaped. The man who is in the prison is known as prisoner, and he is escaped from there. Escaped means came out of that one. I knew that when I saw he was fixed to the ring and a great iron ball bigger than my head, bigger than his head. See here, for time being, he is the prisoner. For this leg, this was the chain. And here this is the ring. Here, for time being, is the prisoner. Is the prisoner, and here his legs were linked with the chain, and here it is chained to a big iron ball, which is bigger than his head, means Pip's head, and as well as bigger than the prisoner's head. He is dragging. He is dragging. Dragging means pulling with the force. Dragged from the chain. The man told me what he wanted: food and a fight. See here, this man is saying to this Pip. He is saying to that Pip, he wanted food and a file. Here he wants the food and file. File means instrument for reducing or smoothing objects. See here what he wants to cut this one. So he is asking the file. Here in the sense it is not a file which you are thinking. Here in the sense file means an instrument which he want to use to cut this chain. Here he want to cut the chain. "Do you know what a file is?" he asked me. That prisoner is asking to this Pip. Okay. What he is asking, I knew what a file was because Joe had them at the froze. He is saying, this Pip is saying, okay, I know that one because Joe is having that file while he is working in the froze. Froze means where the things are made by that blacksmith. That place is known as froze. It was a tool that would saw through iron. If a man saved with a file or long enough, he could cut through the ring on his leg. Why he want that tool means he want to cut this ring. He wanted that tool to cut this ring from his legs. Food and a file. He told me bring them in the morning. What he is saying? He is saying to Pip, you must bring the food and file in the morning. And tell no one. What he is saying? Along with what he wants and along with that he is saying you must not say to anyone. Or he had half of my heart and liver. See here what he is saying. If you say to anyone what I am doing, I want to take out your heart and liver. That's what he said. And then he let me go. After saying what he said, you can go. I did not want to steal from Zoe. I liked him too much. See here, people don't want to steal anything. Before this incident, he is not stealing anything from the Zoe because he is liking the Zoe. I did not want to steal from fiery-tempered Mrs. Joe also. See, he did not want to steal anything from that fiery Mrs. Joe also. Either, but that night I did both. See, that before this incident, he is never stealing anything from by that Mr. Joe or Mrs. Joe. This night he stealed both. I did both. I did not do it just because I was afraid of the escaped prisoner. Why he done this one? Now we can come to know that. That was not the whole reason, almost, but not quite. I did been cold, but he had been colder. Now what he is thinking, that boy is in the home and he is thinking about that prisoner. Now I am feeling, in the home only I am feeling cold. What about that man who is at the graveyard? Now I am feeling cold. That prisoner also feeling colder. Here it is a comparative degree. I had been hungry, but he was ravenous. See here, I am also hungry, but that prisoner ravenous means here very hungry. Here also he is comparing him with that prisoner. I had thought I was alone, but he was the loneliest person. See here, the little boy is thinking about this prisoner. I am feeling cold, he is colder than me. I am hungry, he is hungrier than me. And here, I am alone. He is the loneliest person in the graveyard. He is the loneliest person in the graveyard. I did ever met and he was frightened. I thought he was as frightened as me. See here what this little boy is thinking. I am frightened by seeing him and he is also frightened as I am frightened. He is always comparing this man with him. That was not whole frightened as me. I stole the pile and I stole the bread and cheese and I stole since Mrs. Joe would go wild anyway. The big brown ones are here at Christmas pie. So here he stole the pie and he is stole that bread, cheese, and then what he's thinking, by see if that Mrs. Joe come to know that, she will be very angry, and along with that, what he stole means a big brown once a year at Christmas pie. Here, pie means a baked dish of meat, fruit, and vegetable. Pie is a baked dish of meat, fruit, and vegetables. I thought he would enjoy it if he was still there in the morning. See, this boy is thinking, anyhow, I have bread, cheese, and then pie, Christmas pie, everything, and as well as he asked that pie, everything I am having. If he is there while I am going to graveyard, if he is there, he is going to enjoy this one. He was still there, colder, shaking with cold, hungrier, shaking with that too. While he is while he went to that graveyard, he saw that that man was there only, and he is shaking with the cold, hungrier with shaking with that too. Because of both things, he is shaking. Once by the cold, and the next one is with the hungry. But he enjoyed pie. See here, he gave that pie and he enjoyed. People gave that pie to the this prisoner. Here, the prisoner enjoyed that pie. Already I told you, baked dish of meat or fruit or vegetable is known as pie. Then what he said, I asked him and he told me, thank you, my boy, he said. And he asked my name. Before going back, he asked his name. And I told him, Pip. Then I left because I was afraid to spend any more time away. See here, he want to leave that place because he is afraid of this prisoner. Give me the pie, boy. Now he is asking, give me. He enjoyed the pie and now he is asking, you must give me the pie. That was the last thing he said to me. He did not say goodbye. He didn't away at his iron ring. Here, this Pip given the pie and taking that one, he is cutting this one, and at the same time he returned back to his home. See here, what he is saying while he is going, what he is saying, he did not say goodbye, he did not watch me go, he was filing away his iron ring. He is busy with that to cut his ring. He was like a savage dog at the farm. He is just like a cruel at the dog at the farm. I was sorry from him and I was terrified of him. He is afraid of him. I would never have dared unchain him. See here what he is saying, that he is saying, I am afraid of him and I am not having the dareness to unchain him. Unchain means this one, removing this chain. He is not ready to do that one because he is afraid of that man. I left the prisoner unchaining himself and I went back to the froze. He went back to the froze. Later that day, I learned his name was named Mackwitch. His name was Mackwitch. After that, he came to know that his name was Mackwitch. Soldiers came hunting for Mackwitch all over the marsh. I already told you what is meant by marsh. That's the ground, the soil which is always damp, means moisture, is known as marsh. Mrs. Joe instantly blamed him for the loss of the pie. Macwitch must have stolen it. See here what that Mrs. Joe is thinking. Macwitch was stolen her pie. But really, here Pip stolen that one and he is given to, that one is given to prisoner. But Mrs. Joe is thinking this Macwitch only stolen that pie. Poor fellow, said Kainzo. Kainzo said that poor fellow. He was angry, so he stolen that one. I did not say anything, but the pip sat quiet. He's not said anything to Mrs. Zoe. Now I want to write the meanings or meaning words which you came across in this lesson. Using saw. Renouance. Extremely. Humble. Fine. Fine. Baked dish of baked dish of meat, fruit or vegetables. Terrified. Was to feel extreme fear. Those make a shape shape a metal object by keeping it in a fire or a furnace and hammering it. Okay. I think you understood this lesson. Thank you. Have a nice day.